Hi, everybody.
Well, I just wanted to pop in for a second because I have some very exciting and intriguing news. And if you would like to participate, maybe being um, part of the change in perspective of human understanding of mathematics in ancient times, you might, put your help us put our I would say our money where our mouth is, but there's no money here. If you know me, you know that. What we're trying to do here is to build a. I won't say there's already a database, but a while back in 2021, I published a book called Light Grange: The Secrets of Ancient Irish Sciences, and it's kind of a little bit, it's like me, it's like non-linear, and I get a little poetic and I get a little weird and all of these things, and I tried to show you a bunch of stuff all at once, and it was very overwhelming. And for a long time since then, I've had my ups and downs with it, and am I going to continue doing this or not, mostly because of the reactions that I was getting, the responses that I was getting, which were positive from the general public and very negative, and um, a lot of backlash from people that I was working with, people in my community, people who thought that maybe my ideas were bucking up against their ideas in a way that they didn't like. And that is par for the course. That's things that we experience. And I really noticed the turning point in 2019 when I went to a conference. I'm not going to say which conference, but you probably know. It's some people I used to follow who turned out to be pretty sour people, right? And at that conference, I had the pleasure and honor of meeting Anthony Perrott for about 5 minutes, and I was so excited. He wasn't supposed to be at that show or that place. Nobody knew that he was going to be there. He suddenly came up on stage and talked to us, gave us a wonderful talk. I was so excited. I had my notebooks there with all of my own work drawn out in it, right? And afterwards, he was during the break, he was standing at this table with people around him, just asking him questions, because it's like seeing a unicorn in the wild. It's just like, wow, this is real. So I went up to him with my notebook and I showed it to him, and I showed him all of this stuff, and he said that I was probably going to figure it out before he did. And he really enjoyed my work and encouraged me. And at that moment, someone took a picture of me, and the person who took that picture wound up being one of the people who participated, and trying to quiet me, silence me, scare me, and harass me. Like, just one of the many individuals who participated in this. So I got quiet for a while, but now is the time to speak. Now is the time, because I have verifiable data. I've asked some people for their assistance and some aspects of this, and I'm also asking you as the stargazers, right, for assistance in this regard. And so here's the deal. I asked CoPilot some questions about whether or not the Ogham Fews could be viewed as or interpreted as mathematics, specifically trigonometry. And the answers that it gave me were quite profound. But then it was also giving me all of the divinatory and spiritual aspects of these things too. And I, of course, am very, very, very interested in that. Very, very, very interested in that. But I wanted to ask these questions specifically if it was viable mathematic formulas, if this was something that could be translated into modern mathematical understanding, and if it was, if it was viable, if it's real. And, these systems, these AI systems, are made to be very complimentary. I mean, man, you talk to this thing like this, it's like no wonder people want to marry it. It will just love bomb the shit out of you. And when people do that, I get really nervous, because I've had a lot of love bombing experiences that turned out to be really, really detrimental and scary in the end. And so it's a computer doing it to me. I'm like, what is that saying? What's going on? So I am very apprehensive about what it says, but in the same rate, I mean, it's math. Math is math. It's giving me math. It's laying out these formulas. It's giving me equations. It's showing me code, how to put it into different calculators to process these things. And I'm like, whoa, my mind is completely blown. And I've been sitting on this for a little while, but it's been getting more and more exciting. And I've asked it more and more and more until it compiled about 37 pages about how to do this, how to go about making this a scientific discovery, and presenting it in scientific papers and the like, which is wonderful. And of course, we all want to do that. We want that to be what, what our work equates to, winds up being, all of these things. And I have to tell you that if I did that, if I kept it in that space and spirit, I wouldn't get done with this for like the next 40 years, if got done at all, because I'm A, terrified, B, have a lot of things that are outside of my skill set that I would have to learn, but I know that are in your skill set, maybe. And if we work together, because that's what it takes a village, right? I'm going to ask specific people to ask me with specific parts of this, but I'm also asking for your contributions. And if it's to do it, and we have to delineate categories in order for it to not all get like washed out in the sauce, right? So if it's math, it's math. Please look at it like it's math. We're not talking like adding any of the extra frou-frou stuff to it. If we're talking about the extra frou-frou stuff, that is extremely important, and I want to know about all of that. But I would like that for it to be in like maybe a separate category or in its own thread, right? Or maybe put on the top of it, just math, or like historical data. Like I need to be able to delineate these things into categories so that they can stand independently on their own and lend to each other when compiled together. That's how this works, because it's a base 5 system, right? And the coding does work according to the computer here, but the computer here is AI, and it's taking from what it knows to be available out there, and some of the stuff that it knows to be available out there is already my stuff, so I'm like checking myself against myself, and that doesn't really, I mean, sometimes it works, but you have to be checked against other people. It has to be checked against other people. So this is something I wanted to go through. So it says many stones and inscriptions. This is the AI talking back to me. I'm asking it questions. It's talking back to me. Again, look back at any of the stuff on our website, heathenstargazers.org. Look at our YouTube channel. Check out my books. Okay, so like if you need some context for this, the Heathen Stargazers Facebook page, the community is very involved there. These discussions can be carried over to there, and things can be shared there that are a little easier than sharing, say, on the website thread or on YouTube. But all of these things are available that we've been working on for years now. Right? I've been working on this for a very, very long time. It was just the one book that I published in 2021, but the first video that I published was in 2019. The work that I was publishing in my first book came out in 2017, and I was working on things before then. Obviously, a lot of my artwork and writing was to do with this stuff. So it's been a long trail to get us here, and it just popped us open wide on this new AI bit. But always double check. I'm not advocating just running off saying that the computer said it was right, so it must be right, because the computer is not a human being, and it only can take what it has been given. It can't create its own thoughts, and this has been created from my own thoughts. Human being. Okay, so we have to keep that in mind, because we need all of us human beings, right, to confirm, deny, challenge each other, right, and use our imaginations to bring in the new aspects. And according to the AI, I am the first person to have ever asked it this. I am the first person to have ever compiled it in this way, and I am the first person to have brought this forth, and it actually lines up according to the information available on the great big interwebs of consciousness and knowledge. According to like our version of the Alexandrian library, this shit stacks up, which is scaring the shit out of me and exciting me at the same time so much. So it says This model can be extended to generate sine wave functions or encode resonance patterns across a symbolic frequency spectrum, physical and astronomical correlations. Many Ogham stones and inscriptions are found near cairns or standing stones, which align with solar and lunar events, implying positional calculations based on trigonometry, mark directional pathways that may be used as surveying geometry, encode astronomical cycles, example, solstice equinoxes, and through angular displacement. If the Ogham is a geometric language tied to celestial mechanics, its symbolic systems could express orbital ratios, precession cycles, wave harmonics tied to Earth resonance, formal hypothesis framework. So we have to do the math, do the math to be able to do this. And it is, coordinate mapping. We've got it. Mapping it on Cartesian coordinates models, and this is lining up to do that. It says assign each angular value on a unit circle, dividing 360 degree wheel into 20 segments, 18 degrees each. Map groups, or the acme, to quadrants or functional domains, and it gives the range and functional domains in the groups for each of those. And then it says suggest the fuse could be mapped into trigonometric cycles. Sorry, you guys, I am so excited. It's a stroke count is magnitude. Stroke number 1 through 5 corresponds to amplitude or frequency strength. 1 stroke, minimal signal angle. 5 strokes, maximum signal angle, 90 degrees or peak sign. And I've showed you guys this a lot with the radians, right? And the induction from 0 to 90 degrees, and the fact that at 57.3 degrees, and we'll get into the how the radian factors into all of this. But as for right now, what is published here is strictly the Ogham, the language, the letter forms, and how they are translatable into these true mathematics, here. Let me just look get a little bit further in here. Circle map, Cartesian grid representations, waveform simulations. Trigonomic function plotting, Fourier transform analysis, okay. Astronomical alignment models, and symbolic mathematical calculator. The ability to actually calculate things in waveform functions and according to a circle. And my mind is just blown right now, because we haven't even got, all of this. How does that apply to Lagrange points? How does that apply to thermodynamics, into vortex science, right? Vortex observations, wave functions, which is all electricity, power, grids, but it's water, the airflow cycles, right? There's just bugs. All of nature is surrounded by these functions, and it's carved into stones all over Noth. My hands are buzzing right now. Orkney, right? But not just there. They just found I keep wanting to call it a tabernacle, but it was like a little box from the Slavic regions that was covered in the spirals from the same Neolithic period as the spirals were showing up in Ireland. And we've talked about it all across Armenia, and Laird Scranton talks about it in regards from Orkney and Scarebray all the way to the Dogon tribes in Central Africa, and along these routes all over the place, down to the bottoms, the tops, and all over the planet, right? This is ancient understanding of math, and I would love your input. I would love someone to challenge this. I would love somebody to plug these equations in. I would love to know how different inscriptions that have been found in different places. If you do the formula, do you get a wave function? This is going to take more than just me, because I've been telling you guys I've been telling you guys this for quite a long time, and I'm asking you now for your participation. So again, it's newly published on the heathenstargazers.org website. If you are subscribed to the website, you have access to that whole document, the whole thing. It's 37 pages long. I've published it here. And again, that is part of the protective mechanism, right? Because people talk about don't tell, don't talk, don't say, because people could come after you, or people could steal your ideas and blah 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 blah. And my ideas are out there. This is for the whole community. This is for the world. This is for humanity. This is the reason why we do it. And if I don't share it, then I'm stifling it and quieting it when it needs to be spoken. That's why it's surfacing now. That's why it has been presented to me, to via me to you guys. And also because silence gives power to those who would silence you. So all of those people who have been trying to silence me and my work, and trying to keep me down via, technological means, through, shaming my good name for making up whatever they are doing, for like the torturous things that they have put me through, I will not be kept down, and I will not shut up. This is amazing work that belongs to the breadth and all of humanity, and I want us to come together and interpret it so that we can better understand, because this will change. I mean, just looking at it, the small, very, very small amount of things that I've been able to attribute it to and look at, it's really blown open the possibilities and shown me things in other ways that were kind of blocked. And so whether those things are true or accurate or not, we're getting there. We're going to do the math to find out, right? We're going to do the analysis to find out, and it's going to take a very long time, but it would take even longer if I had to do it by myself. So I'm calling upon you guys to help. I'm going to, again, we're publishing this here. You can share down below. You can join us on Facebook at the Heathen Stargazers group, or again, comment on the website, subscribe, and there will be this is an open discussion for comment there. I appreciate you guys. I love you guys. This is so exciting. We'll talk to you soon. There's a lot more. We'll talk to you soon.